everybody, and welcome to TOFFEE BLUECAST. We have got with us tonight Jamie. It's been a while. Paul can't be on tonight, and Jamie, I've been itching to have you on anyway. So Jamie has an appearance on the show, and we have also got an opposition fan. So this is going to be a cracker for you tonight, Toffies, and Chelsea fans, if you're listening. This is going to be a proper head-to-head tonight for the game tomorrow. Jamie, how you doing? I'll ask you first. How you doing? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm great. Great to be back.
Yeah, it's cracking to have you on. How are you feeling for this game? Confident or?
It's a strange one, really. I mean, I watched you and Rob last night. I'd take a draw personally, with results that have happened over the weekend. I'd take a draw at this stage, but it's weird. Chelsea have had an up and down season. We've had an up and down season. It would just be the same way as we did last year, where Ellis Sims scored the equaliser in the last minute. It'd just be us to nick something from this game. But no, quietly confident.
See, I can see the reaction in the room when you said that, talking about Ellis Sims scoring that. Let's get him on the channel. We have Chelsea fan here, Simon. We've done it. We've got an opposition for a head-to-head to make it a cracker tonight. Get involved in the comments. We'll give you a shout-out as well, people. Hit that link. Come over from Twitter. Here we go. Let's give him a bit of music. Give him the entrance. Build him up, Jamie. Chelsea fan is in the house. We have got security on the channel. Do not worry. This is a head-to-head. You are going to like it. Simon, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm very good, thanks. Very good. Looking forward to a bit of a catch-up in the chat tonight about all things Chelsea and all things Everton and all things tomorrow night.
Yeah, I am looking forward to this, to be fair. It's always good to get an opposition fan on because we often try and cover the opposite team ourselves, but you just can't do it better than an actual fan that supports that team. You get more of an insight of the team when you get the opposition fan on. So it's going to be a cracker. Paul in the comments, we can see shout out. I love to interact with the comments, by the way. It's about the people in the comments because they make the show. Richo. They are saying in the comments, I'm going to have to touch on this. I mean, Jamie's already said it. Jamie, do you know what the Crystal Palace score was today?
Oh, it reminded me of an instance that I named a few years ago called Cristambul. Yeah, the nice little bogey team for Liverpool once again come through for us today. Not that I'm happy about it.
No, I am not happy at all. That's why I'm smiling like crazy. People are saying it in the comments now. What a weekend it's been for Everton fans, because all the teams around us in this relegation battle, the results went our way. Nottingham Forest drew. All the results went our way, so we're really, really happy. And then to top it off, a team that lost against Atalanta in the Europa League 3-0 also went to lost against Crystal Palace. It brought back that 3-3 where Gerrard slipped and they bust up the league. It brought back that.
That was the master Demba Bar, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Demba Bar. Yeah, well, that's coincidence, actually. I just say it brings back that Crystal Palace 3-3. After the Crystal Palace 3-3, I think Simon below did the job for us with a Denver Bar and Steven Gerrard slip. So, yeah, it's all coming together tonight.
Fate would have it.
I'm sure that stays in your head, doesn't it, Simon, that one?
For many reasons, yeah. I remember Mourinho's reaction more than anything else on the touchline. But, I didn't give us much of a hope that game. But, it was all kind of back to the wall. But, obviously there's a number of Chelsea songs that involve that incident with Steven Gerrard, shall we say.
Well, I love it. Steven Gerrard as well. He didn't get to win the Premier League, did he? Don't think he actually got to do it. Just remind him on that one. I'm so happy about that. Now, I know some Liverpool fans say you can't say nothing, you're doing crap, you're in a relegation battle. But watching Liverpool fans think they've won the Premier League this season and massively be flopping on it, it's quite good as an Everton fan. It's good rather, isn't it, Jamie? It makes us feel pretty good, that does. So I'm happy.
The way they talk on Twitter, mate, they had it sewn up 3 months ago. And it's not football is football. Nothing's guaranteed, mate.
Everyone is super happy. It's amazing how many fans are happy. I'm sure the Chelsea fans are happy. Liverpool have got a lot of rivalries, and I do think it's because they've got a very cocky manager, and they do act like, for me, sometimes Liverpool act like they own the Premier League, and that's just my thoughts. They do act like, sometimes you just see stuff like it's Man City and Liverpool that can only ever win the Premier League. They act like they've dominated the Premier League for the last 20 years, Liverpool do, but it's not been the case. It really hasn't. But yes, that's Liverpool done. We're all happy about that. But we are here with a massive game. Chelsea, you're at home against Everton, Simon. How are you feeling for this? I mean, don't give your score away. Don't give your lineups away. But how are you feeling going into this?
With the usual air of low expectancy with this team currently, really. You mentioned you're going to go through the last 5 results, which would take all of 30 seconds probably, really, in terms of what we've learned from it. But the team is hopelessly inconsistent. You've talked about Everton's inconsistency, haven't you? And I guess if you look at an oscillator, perhaps Everton would be like this going along the season, yeah? Chelsea, it's literally like that. It's insane, the amount of inconsistent performances that we seem to get out of nowhere. So the league for us, lots of people say we could get into Europe. If we can produce as many injuries in a team without getting into Europe, then Lord knows what a mess we'll be in if we do get into Europe. So it's almost a dead rubber for me. Almost a dead rubber.
Well, you say you're inconsistent, but I'm seeing a bit of consistency there. Draw, win, draw, win, draw. It's consistent on what you're doing in the Premier League there. When I've written it up, I thought I tried to memorize it when I was just writing it earlier on before the show, and it was quite easy because it was draw, win, draw, win, draw. I'm hoping that doesn't mean that actually, does that mean that we're going to win? Looking at that.
We have come into, I was being we haven't lost at home, I believe, since October. But, let's cut to the chase. Burnley should have beaten us, and we were playing 10 men for most of the game. Sheffield Wednesday, bottom team, threw the lead away twice. Man United, Lord knows how he won that game. Brentford away, the away support turned on the manager again. We threw leads away. So, you could look at it in two ways. The team are fighting back when they shouldn't do, but we're dropping so many points. It's just beyond belief, really. We're a very poor side, and one of the reasons I think that Everton have a fair chance of getting a draw, say, for example, is that we don't play well with teams that are in your face. We just don't have a backbone, for me. We capitulate very easily, and that's one of Everton's strengths.
Would you see that would have been our strength when Sean Dyche first come in? Would you say we were in your face team, Jamie, now, or would you say we're dipping on that a little bit?
Depends. It depends. Depends who he plays, really, doesn't it? I don't see us being a in your face team when we start with Ashley Young on the wing. I don't see us being a in your face team when Calvert-Lewin's isolated on his own up front. And yeah, all right, fair enough. You can get 10 men behind the ball and be in your face that way and try and stop them working through the lines. But I wouldn't say that's our main strength, especially this season. I'd say towards the end of last season, I think those last 10 games we were an in-your-face team, and you seen with some of the results, like the Brighton results, the Bournemouth game at home. Obviously, I know you were there, mate, and I know how much it took out of you, but that was a game where we controlled it. We just couldn't get the goal. Touch on what Simon said, yeah, the things that do give me a little bit of confidence in this aspect is Sheffield United, Burnley have took points off Chelsea. Obviously, Burnley took points off Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. But the only other telling thing is, and I've just calculated here because I done my homework on this a couple hours ago, and I put the Leicester game in instead of the Brentford game. So Chelsea have scored 13 in the last 5, but they've conceded 11. Whereas we've scored 4 in the last 5 and conceded 9. So they're a team that likes to score but concede goals, and we're a team that concede goals and don't like to score.
Jamie, the stat man tonight. Yeah,
no, it's a good point.
It is interesting.
Yeah, I think there'll be goals in the game. No, I think there'll be goals in the game. I mean, somebody flippantly said that we'd concede 2 against Sheffield United on the way up on the train on Sunday. And to be fair, I actually kind of agreed semi-dismissively, and we go and concede 2 against Sheffield United. And it's just same old, same old. There's no lessons being learned for me in this side at all. I know the injuries have been horrific, but come on, and it's not all doom and gloom, but this is where the team is at the moment. It's a very fragile team. And, we'll talk about injuries and lineups later, but we've spent £1 billion on some of the best young talent in the world, and we're reliant upon a 21-year-old kid from Wythenshawe. If he's injured, we've had it.
No, it's interesting with yourselves. I mean, I don't know whether you've seen, Simon. I tweeted earlier on, and it had quite a bit of like on it. I don't tweet for likes, but I do like to have a laugh. Did you see my tweet about the hot walk? Everton selling the hot walk.
Yeah.
Oh no!
It was kind of linked to Chelsea because I'm not going to touch you much on this because you might not want to say much because it's something that you massively benefit on. But it must be amazing to be us. We're trying to build a stadium which we can't, which we're having to put on the books, which is massively doing us over like financially, which is crazy because we've seen other teams do stadiums and it not be on their books. But we seem to be getting done for trying to build a stadium which is going to better ourselves. And then we've just gone and seen, I don't know whether you've seen the tweet, that you've gone and sold a hotel for loads and loads of money and managed somehow to put it on your books to help your FFP, which Everton fans are like, what the heck? Do you know what I mean? But it's just crazy.
I don't understand the nuances, but to be fair, the hotel is part of the stadium. So it's owned by Chelsea Football Club. Ken Bates built it. So it's part of the assets. And I know what's happening to Everton, and I don't believe in mixing politics and sport, never have done. But if any other club's fans think that Chelsea are getting it easy, I'd like to remind them that a serial liar decided to throw the book at Chelsea and blame us for an invasion of a country, and the proceeds of which have not gone to the country to which they were promised to go to. And again, not getting into politics, and I know that Everton fans will start singing F the Tories tomorrow, which is strange, seeing as from what they did to us, that's the last thing we want. And also London's run by a Labour mayor, but, politics and football, and I hear what you say, no one wanted these owners in any way. You've had problems with your owners, I'm not saying Roman was perfect, but there are other Russians in this country who are doing very well, thank you very much. It was just a high profile. He was the wrong Russian. So that's my short answer to it.
Nice. I get where you're coming from. It's just frustrating. The way the league, what we've been through. I know we touched on it when I was going to have you on the show last time. What we've been through this season, after already going through 2 relegation battles, but how much we've been messed around this season is just ridiculous. And I'm like you, Simon. I don't want to talk about how a football club should be run because I know nothing about it. I mean, I do now because we've been forced to, because that's all we've been given all season in front of us. But I don't want to know stuff about how a football club should be run. I just want to watch my football team on the pitch, play for that badge and do well. Yeah. But
I think very quickly,
it's nothing about that.
1992 changed all that, if you're honest, guys. And any club that was in the old First Division on the last day of the 91 season are all culpable, Chelsea included, of helping to make us in the place we're at now, where we're just talking about kickoff times and we're talking about all the other stuff that goes on for match-going fans. And basically, everyone stuck 2 fingers up to the Football League because the clubs in the top league then could make more money. From that moment on, I'm not saying where we are was inevitable, but that's where we've got to trace it all back to. That's where it all went wrong for me.
I just want to interject because obviously Dan knows my opinion on the whole what's going on with Everton in the Premier League. I also think it's very unfair to have conversations in which you would compare states of clubs or how they're being treated between fans. The fans can't run a club. The fans don't really have much of a say, so I don't think it's very fair. Personally, when it comes to Roman Abramovich, give the man his credit because Roman Abramovich changed the Premier League when he come in. Yes, he put his money into the club, which as an owner you're allowed to do. Brought Mourinho in. Look at some of the talent he brought to this amazing league that we have. And that changed the game for me. We started attracting bigger names and bigger players, and then you see the likes of Man City have gone and done it. So the way that the Premier League is and the way the Premier League is revered, I think has a lot to do with the fact that Roman Abramovich decided to take over a club, invest his money into what he thought was right. I didn't see an issue with it then, and look at the way the league is now. We're attracting the world's best players. It's one of those things. I just think that when it comes to politics and football, they should be kept apart. Obviously, I'll have my own personal opinions on the Premier League and the way they're running at this moment in time, but it's definitely not a dispute to have between fans. I don't interact with anything but Everton fans on Twitter because you're going down a black hole where you open yourself up to everyone then, and you're fighting on multiple different areas over a subject that really shouldn't be discussed between fans and fans. It's not fair. It's not right, and that's that.
Yeah.
No, you said it well there, Jamie. And Simon, actually, you did say the same thing on messages to me at the start. It's not fair to take it out of the fans. That's one thing that you did say, so we want it. And that's all they are punishing this season, is the fans with us. We are going to get onto the football. We're going to keep this moving nice and fun for you. We're going to get onto the football stuff. We're going to do lineup predictions, everybody. So this is going to be an interesting one. I've got a new thing where I'll put the lineup on the screen. We'll do it with an app. We'll ask Simon his first to see what he thinks the lineup will be or what lineup he wants. Then Jamie, I'll get you to do the lineup and I'll change it on what I think I want the lineup to be. We'll go through this nice and quick and then we finish with score predictions, everybody. So let's do this. And then people in the comments, by the way, after we've given our lineups, we do want your lineups as well. So get involved. Here we go. Let's do this. So, on what you said, this is an interesting one, Simon. I think this is a good question to you.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd be more successful if you had the owner that you did have? I mean, you talked about him early on. Is that your problem?
It's impossible to say. He had an unerring knack of changing manager at the right time. And hire and fire is something that we want stability in our football clubs. But somehow we got it right, and Lampard got the bullet. We were all devastated. Tuchel rolls up and wins the Champions League. It didn't make sense the way he ran the football club. But Jamie's point, he put a lot of money into Cobham, youth, anti-Semitism, a lot of stuff. But I think what they did, they hired and fired all the good people like Petr Cech, all the people behind the scenes, even the medical team, they all went. So where we'd be, I don't know. And he made some horrifically bad decisions at times. I don't think he'd be in a worse position, should we say?
Yeah, he just didn't accept. I think it was just standard with him. If anyone didn't cut the cake, I think there was gone, wasn't there? Whether that's player or manager. And I just couldn't. I was just thinking in my head now, I wonder how he would be with this Chelsea team. I think he'd be fuming. I don't know how he would cope with this Chelsea team. I really don't.
We wouldn't have this team. We wouldn't have just spent all this money on players not to create a team. I keep going about. I mean, perhaps in your face was the wrong way to describe Everton earlier on. What I meant to say is they're a team. Dyche's got a footballing team. Chelsea aren't a team. They're a bunch of players that are being picked from here, there, and everywhere. And Pochettino's got the unenviable task of trying to make them into a team. It just it's a project. They actually called it a project. Well, the project isn't a football team, is it? You need all sorts of scruffy players in a football team.
I do feel for Pochettino. I really do, because you look when he went to PSG. PSG was already an established side. There's not really much he had to do for PSG. He's come in. The owner's gone, right, I'm going to buy this player, this player, this player, this player. Make it work. And it's hard. It's hard. Yeah. And it is. It's a project. It's unfortunate at this moment in time. It's 11 individuals all trying to work to one goal, but it doesn't seem as if they're all on the same page.
No, it's absolutely true.
Yeah, but then I was just going to say, I'll put it on you now, Simon, after this, but then you're borderline here. This is because you'll think to yourself, like, it's a really hard job, like you said, for him, Jamie, to mould these players together when he's given loads of new players. But then he's given loads of really high-class players to mould together. And you look at our Everton team, and we're giving like players that haven't got that ability that some of these Chelsea players have got. And Dyche has got a job to mould them together.
It's not a fair argument, though.
No, do you get what I'm saying, though? That's what some people will be thinking.
No, I understand what you're saying, but look at Arsenal, how Arsenal have struggled since they've moved from Highbury to the Emirates. They've always had world-class players. They've always had great players within their team. Look how long it's took Arteta to get the formula almost right for them. Do you know what I mean? They were talking 2 years ago of getting rid of Arteta because he wasn't quite getting it. And then you look at them last season and this season, he seems to finally have got the mould right, and it's starting to work for them. And the thing with Abramovich had his way of working, and obviously Ted Bowler's got it's a completely different mould that they're trying to do. When you look at when Abramovich come in, yes, he attracted all these great players, and Mourinho had to integrate them in the team, but they still had the backbone of the team. You got John Terry, you got Frank Lampard. They still had a backbone of Chelsea players. It wasn't just 11 players all trying to fit into one season, a pre-season. He already had an established backbone of a team when Abramovich took over. Ted Bowley hasn't done that.
Yeah, such a good
not
point.
Hard to, the Blues there saying not hard to have better players than us.
It's such a good point, but the best players don't make the best team, do they? That's just obvious. And I know I'm not making excuses of Pochettino. I think some of his press match conferences make my toes curl. Lessons will be learned. We'll be learning lessons for years to come. And he's been plagued by injuries, so there's something clearly wrong with either his training techniques or the medical staff. It's absurd the number of injuries we've had. But at the same time, I don't see how he's improved. I mean, look what he did to Dele Alli at Tottenham. Look what he did to Dele Alli at Tottenham. I thought this guy actually makes sense, but I don't see any of the young players improving. And I think there's a mentality issue there. And that's one thing that Dyche has got. That's one thing that Mourinho had. People don't realise, however good a tactician Mourinho was, he got into players' heads. And I don't think Pochettino does that.
I don't like to mention these because these are our new Derby team, but it's like Eddie Howe going to Newcastle. I think he's gone there, and I always look at Newcastle. No offense to them or anything. I look at them and I think, Newcastle have got a weaker team there. I look at Longstaff and I look at a few players and I think they're going to do crap today. I thought it against Spurs. I looked at Spurs' team on paper and I looked at Newcastle's team and I thought I looked at Basuma, I looked at Maddison and Brennan Johnson. I thought Spurs have got a strong team. They're going to beat Newcastle easy here. And Eddie Howe got Newcastle playing so much better. And I just think sometimes managers are massively important, more important than what you think sometimes.
Yeah. I'll mention two things quickly. Number one, and it's a local team to me, Emery at Villa. They've spent money. Don't get me wrong, what he's done there. He should be manager of the season. But I'll mention two great Everton sides and two players who perhaps were underrated, but they were players that would be off the radar now. And that's Harper and Richardson. I'm probably older than you guys, but I remember a job that they did in the side. We've got a midfield duo who getting on for £250 million, and neither of them together, for me, at the moment, are as good as one N'Golo Kante at 30 million.
Not even close. Wouldn't even say they're as good as a Makaleli or a Essien at this moment in time. Neither of them.
Exactly. And it's not their fault that they've paid this money. That's down to the club and down to Pochettino. So the whole thing is just, you just don't know where to start looking, really. It's just baffling.
It is baffling. Two players that I remember from Chelsea that I did used to like. I mean, sometimes players catch you from other teams. Dennis Wise and Flo.
Dennis Wise, blimey. Most people hated
Dennis Wise and Flo. Big Flo up front. Yeah,
they
catch me attention.
Yeah, he is.
I do remember Chelsea a bit back. They caught my eye, to be fair. Sometimes I like the old school players. But, I just think it's baffling. Now, I know that you say to me, Chelsea might be a good team to play because you don't know what you're going to get. But I still look at your players and think Palmer is incredible.
Yeah.
What a boy.
Yeah, Palmer, what a signing. But Mudryk as well, he's I know he's a good player. And he's hot and cold, Well, I know he could probably. You don't know what you're going to get with him. If he turns up against Everton, we could be in big trouble. That's all I'm saying. You've got Casado. You've got so many players that are playing like 60%, but if they play 100%, they're world-class players. That's what I'm saying with Chelsea. So if you do turn up, we're playing a team that's probably one of the hardest teams to play in the league. If you turn up,
yeah.
And like, I think for example, when you played in the cup, you was quite good in the cup, weren't you?
Yeah, we are a good cup team, mainly because I think we haven't played many good teams. But it's that consistency, and ultimately your league position determines the level of the side you are, doesn't it? And there's no escaping that Chelsea. I actually thought they may finish sixth at the start of the season. If they do finish sixth, I'd be quite surprised, but they still could. But it's mid-table. It's mid-table fare because of the lack of consistency. And you've just highlighted it, Dan, very well. It depends which one turns up. You can't do that week in, week out.
No, it's finding consistency, and that's thing that Dyche has been able to. Dyche has consistently got our players putting the work rate in, but whether they turn up on ability, that's been a big problem for us.
But that's
go on.
That's a different thing, though. That's what fans want to see. Fans want to see work rate first and foremost. And I'm not. People say, "Oh, I'm being a privileged Chelsea fan." I'm not. You know, there are expectations there, but some of the performances we've folded like a deck of cards, particularly away from home. Literally folded like a deck of cards. Everton was the same. As soon as you scored that goal up there in December, we just turned around to each other. Oh, that'll be it then. Huffing and puffing. And at the end of the game, two of the players come over. The rest of them slink off into the dressing room. What does that say about the squad?
It's what you get sometimes with big egos, though, isn't it? I think that's when you look at a lot of big teams nowadays. When you get these young generation kids now, they've got big attitudes and stuff like that, and I don't think it's old school anymore. And I think when it's what you get, you look at Man United signing that Sancho, and they signed him for 70 million. You just see loads of examples of that in the Premier League this season, where it's young kids, but they've got such big egos. They're not die hard for the badge, are they? They're not die hard for the badge, and they. I don't know. I'm not saying all of them, by the way. I'm not saying all of them because you've got Palmer that's come in that I think is really hardworking, loves his football, dedicated, and I think you can probably relate to him. You as a fan, probably Palmer. But then when you get people prowling around the pitch like I say, Mudryk or someone that's hot and cold, you probably think 1 week is good, and then next week when he lets you down, you think, what are you doing? I know you're better than that. So they can really stir your pot, can't they?
Mentality is such a big part of any elite sport, and that's where Chelsea missing. But I think that's where Dyche comes into his own, really, because he won't tolerate any egos, will he? You know, it's a proper team. That's my whole point about what Everton have got. They're maxing out their ability but they're maxing out on effort as well.
Are you surprised that Jamie, we've been in the group, like, we're still unsure on Dyche, you know? Are you surprised, Simon, that we're unsure? Now, I was massive Dyche, but just lately, I think some fans have been, well, when he'd not won one, Jamie, in 13 games, I think fans were starting to, when he's breaking records of the longest about us winning a game, I think he was putting a bit of weight on his shoulders.
Towards the end of that, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I do think that things off the pitch have affected us a little bit more because obviously it's a level of uncertainty that we didn't know. And as soon as the 2-point deduction come out, I messaged you all in the chat about it, and I literally said, well, there you go. There's the worst case scenario for us. We now know where the bar is, so go above it and go beyond it. Do you know what I mean? With that uncertainty, because if we'd have been docked another 6 points, do you know what I mean? And that would have been the outcome. We'd have been in the bottom three, and then it's all right. We've got to climb that mountain all over again. Don't forget, the first one come out, and it seemed to galvanise us. We went on a 4-5 winning streak, and we just shot straight up the league, got the point straight back. We've had the 2-point deduction, so effectively it turned the win against Burnley into a draw. But then you look at the results today, nobody's won around us. We've got 2 games in hand on everyone. I personally, if we got a draw, against Chelsea, I wouldn't be too upset about it because it's another point in our way. And I've said this the last couple of seasons, which is really, really depressing to say because we've been in that many relegation battles now. The way you've got to look at the relegation battle for us, and the reason I say it's in our hands, we've got the games in hand, we've got the point advantage. All we really have to do is the teams around us is match or better their results each weekend to the end of the season, and we survive. I don't care where we finish, as long as we survive at this moment in time. So all we've got to do is play as well as everybody around us, but we're a better team than that. And we've got games, very winnable games. We've got Luton, we've got Sheffield, we've got Forest. Very winnable games coming up, and a lot of them are home. So these games away, where it is Chelsea, as we said, you don't know what Chelsea team's turning up. If he's going to stick 11 men behind the ball and try and nick a result, that's fine by me. Because at this moment in time, it feels a bit like, I think Rob touched on it a little bit last night, it feels a little bit like a free hit because we've got 2 games in hand on everyone. If we go and get a point, sound. If we go and nick the win, brilliant. If we go and we lose 3-4-0, right, okay. It's Chelsea at home. Chelsea don't lose at home very often. Chelsea scored a lot of goals in the last 15 games. It's one of those things that can be explained. I'm not a Dyche out at this moment in time. I still feel Dyche is the right man at this moment in time for us. When it comes to the future, obviously depending on FFP and what we can actually do in the summer, I think the summer is going to be a big thing for Everton, depending on player sales and what money is actually available for Dyche. That'll depend because you've got to understand the man has had, what is it now, 3-4 transfer windows now where he's basically not been able to spend a penny without having to sell somebody for it. He hasn't really been given a fair shake. He's brought in a couple of players that are his players. And you've brought almost 40-year-old Ashley Young on a free transfer. My vote's still in Sean Dyche's side for me. I don't think he's been given a fair shake as of yet.
So Jamie is on Sean Dyche. So I am as well. I do try and back him a lot. I think he's doing a good job. It's just selection sometimes that frustrates people. And no selection gets you a few times as well, Jamie, because I've seen you when you don't play Patterson. And he's playing Ashley Young over Patterson. So talking about selection, we're going to run through this nice and quick. We're going to hit the lineup predictions now, and then we're going to do score predictions. When we're going to ask Simon, the Chelsea fan, to give us his lineup prediction first. We'll put ours in. When we put ours in, we want you to get yours in the comments. But let's do this then, Simon. I've got a few names here. Some of your players, I'm not going to lie, I don't even know. You've got a massive squad.
Well, yeah, it's just
not
as
that
well.
They're all fit, but you've got a big
exactly.
squad.
Yeah, I know. I think we've got 11 first teamers out injured now, and the problem is, it's I forget who's injured. I just look on the injury list before every game, and I just check that Cole Palmer's not injured, and the rest that's fine. Then let's have a look. I've got to put my glasses on now.
What a gift for that man to have a cold this weekend.
Let's put Petrovic in goal. Petrovic is going to be in goal, I think.
What do you think of him?
He's better than Sanchez. He's no Petr Cech or Neville Southall. Young kid again, but very inexperienced. But he's been okay. So I think we'll go Petrovic in goal. I will put my glasses on. I think Gusto is fit at right back, who has, for me, behind Palmer, been exceptional for us this season. Only 20 years old. Big shoes to fill in. Reece James. Lord knows what's going to happen to Reece James. A massive miss for us. But I think Gusto is fit. Put him in at right back.
I think he's been... I spoke about him last night when I did a combined 11. And I think let's talk about him and David James. It's good competition, because he's been your Palmer this season. He has. He's been sensational. I can't believe how good he is.
No, I very, very highly rated player. And again, only 20. So he's one of the few that have worked. Centre back, I think he's going to go with, Disasi and Chalobah. I don't think he's going to play Thiago Silva. I think people forget he's 39. He's actually older than Wayne Rooney. There's a little stat for you.
What do you think of Chalobah? Do you like him?
I think, again, you were talking about managers earlier. I see Chalobah playing under Tuchel. I see Chalobah playing under Pochettino, and I see two different players. You know, he just hasn't hit the levels. Now I know he's had lots of injury problems, but I see a less confident player. I don't see it as an assured player as I did under Tuchel. Maybe that's
that Desauce is a big lad, isn't he? I watched him. I think it was when he was in the cup or something like that, and he seems quite dominant, doesn't he? He seems like he wants to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. I like him.
Good in the air, not very mobile. Marked Haaland out the game up at, as I say, Main Road. Then up in Manchester, but then he's liable to score a 40-yard own goal, as he did against Leicester. So you know, yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Left back.
Left back is going to be Cucurella.
No small names, have you?
No. What do you mean? They've got lots of letters in them.
I bet you've got some good songs for these players. You've got some good songs for these players. Testing me spelling this is. Do you like Cucurella? Yeah. I know when he first come to you, you were saying he was 60 million is a lot.
62 million. Yeah, that was. Yeah, that's another. And we sold Hall to Newcastle for 28 million. But anyway, that's another master stroke of ours. Two in midfield. Fernandes is out, so it's going to be Casado.
What formation do you play?
I think we'll play 4-3-3 normally. Yeah.
4-3-3.
Yeah.
Let's get it right for you there then. So that's your. So in the first in the middle, who you got?
You're going to put Casado.
What do you think of this player then? Because I quite like him because he rejected Liverpool.
He really has started to show some consistency in the last few months, but then he played that great through ball through for a Man United player to score against Man United. So again, concentration levels just poor. But there's a player in there.
Big hothead, isn't he? Like when I normally put him on for a yellow card. I mean, I don't tell people to bet. Don't bet. You know what I mean? I'd advise not to. But if I do a yellow card, he's my man because he is a proper hothead. I've seen him been capable of a few heads as well.
Yeah, he's one yellow away from a suspension, I believe. Gallagher's going to be playing. Conor Gallagher.
Where's he play then? Where I'm putting him?
Well, they play a very fluid three in midfield normally, so just put him right.
He normally plays
put him right.
Yeah, I thought that. He's different for you, Gallagher. Are you happy? Because I actually thought he was. I thought he was better for Crystal Palace than what he is for you. I know he's started stepping up a little bit now, but
he's been more prolific for Palace in terms of goal scoring. But I'm not a great believer in stats, but ball recoveries in the final third, he's top player in Europe, I believe. It's the fact that we then proceed to miss chance after chance. So stats can be misleading, can't they?
He played in a more advanced role for Palace as well, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. He arrived late coming into the box like Lampard used to do. And I think the other midfield position, and again, don't know if he's fit, but I'd put Chukwuemeka in there. Just put Carney.
Is Enzo
injured?
Is Enzo not fit?
No, he's unwell, apparently.
Hopefully he's roomies with Cole Palmer.
Is that this player, the Ugu?
No. Chukwuemeka.
Chukwuemeka. I'm having a look here. Who you've got? This is testing.
Yeah, I know. I did this.
And you have got someone called Ugu Chukwu, haven't you?
Yeah.
See, this player's not even. I just spelled this.
Carney Chukwuemeka.
So tell me how to spell it. Go on.
Just put Carney. Carney.
Here he is.
There you go.
I didn't. Do you know what? I looked at your whole squad and I left a few people out because it said him in the under-21s, I think, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think this kid's going to be a great player. Big, strong lad, but predictably been injured much of the season. Right.
Is that someone that you're? Is that someone that's your favourite, or is that someone that you think's definitely going to play?
Bit of both, really. I really like what I see from the kid, but he sustained an injury in the second game of the season. But every time he's played, he looks like he can do something. He's big, strong, quick feet. So I think he's going to be a very, very good player for us. Jackson up front. Not Michael.
Now, what do you think on this one? I'm trying to get a bit of you. What you think on these players as well as you've probably noticed.
Oh God, he divides opinion, mate. Very hard working. He puts the yards in. and he has scored goals, but everyone seems to want to get on his back saying, well, he scored 3 against 9-man Tottenham or he did this. But really, it's all on his shoulders. It's all on his shoulders. And apart from the next kid who we're going to mention, there isn't anyone else. So when pre-season started, he and Nkunku looked fantastic together. Nkunku's been out injured.
I was gonna say that. I think everybody pre-season thought you had your answer to your problem striker-wise, didn't they? Because
exactly.
He did look good pre-season.
Yeah. So in a 2, I think he'd be very, very good as a low. So I think it's a little misleading this season, if I'm honest. I'll give him a bit of slack. I think.
Can I ask you a question, Simon?
Go on.
Who's better, Jackson or Lukaku?
Oh, sorry, I nearly swore then.
I just think if you had Lukaku this season, you'd probably be competing Europa League or top 4, because your big problem for me has been. I just honestly do believe, even a Lukaku now, when I watched him for Belgium, we love him because he's been one of our best strikers, but we haven't replaced him. So I just think if you had Lukaku now, he'd have at least 15 goals this season for you. For me,
I'll rewind. When he came back after we won the Champions League, and we started off like a house on fire under Tuchel, playing 3 at the back, wing backs. We had steamrolling on everyone. Then he went off the rails and decided to do an interview saying he didn't want to be there, and that sticks in everyone's gut when a player says that. So, and he's still a Chelsea player. He's only on loan. He's actually still a Chelsea player.
No, he is still your player. Yeah. I mean, I heard him say in the interview when they asked him at Belgium, he's like, ask Chelsea on how they think I've done. It's like he wants to. It's really weird with Lukaku in Chelsea because I can't put a nail on it, but I don't know how he hasn't fitted. I don't know.
I've no
the Blues
idea.
there, I can see the comment the Blues have said. That me and the Blues yesterday, the Blues is telling me there was when we combine both teams that Jackson is miles better than Calvert-Lewin.
I think I can see why Jackson puts the effort in. I think like, I was talking about effort in some players. Jackson puts the hard yards in. Whether he's got the ability or not, I don't know. So to me, that's why we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I think you've then got to put Cole Palmer in.
Where we're putting him on the right, is that?
Put him on the right.
Right.
On the right.
Yeah, I think he does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I love him, Martin. What a player. What a steal from I think that's Pep's biggest mistake.
I love the fact that he is a very positive player and looks forward all the time. And he lots of misplaced passes, but he's trying to do something positive with the ball. The other position, I think he'll probably go with Mudryk. The only caveat I would say, sorry.
I was just going to say, I know you're putting Mudryk in there, and I mentioned him earlier on, but what do you think of Sterling? Because I think he's been a proper slouch for you lot, and I had the feeling he was on his way out when you got him. So what do you think of Sterling?
I think Sterling will be remembered for what he misses rather than the goals he scored and assists, because his conversion rate is awful, but his actual stats aren't bad. But it's his body language. And this young team needs leaders. He's a leader, and he just goes missing. The only thing I would say about that lineup is we may go 4-2-4. So instead of Chukwuemeka, he might put Madueke in, or maybe even Sterling. I just think that he may go with that lineup.
Yeah, that could be your one. Like you say, the only one that I question that he might not do is the lad in centre midfield, but I don't know much about Chelsea. I haven't watched just recently, so I don't know what you're going to hit. But looking at this, that's a strong team. What do you think of this team, Jamie? What scares you on this?
The man on the right wing. He's just do you know what? I know what you're saying about, that'll be Pep's biggest mistake. You look at City's team, like they've already got a young starlet in Foden. No way am I saying Foden's better than Palmer or Palmer's better than Foden. But how can you put both of those in that team? And the big names that they've got already in that team, how can you subsidise one of those? It's one of those, and I give credit to Cole Palmer, because Cole Palmer could have stayed at Man City. could have got titles, could have got medals, and not played and sat on the bench. The lad wanted to go and play. The lad made it very, very clear that he wanted to go and play football. So all credit to him for that. And he's been a pleasure to watch this season. And I'm one of his biggest supporters, and I'm not even a Chelsea fan. So as long as he doesn't do it tomorrow night, I'm more than happy to watch him. He's a fantastic. And for me, player of the season by a mile.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point you make, Jamie. I think what I like about him is listen to him talk, and he's just a lad from Wythenshawe, isn't he? He's never even, he just doesn't know London, but he had the courage of his conviction in his own ability to be put into this side, and he is now in a billion squad team. He's the main player in that side, and yet he's unfazed by it. It's quite remarkable, really.
Yeah.
No, he is a very good player. And like I say, I think you're right back. I mean, I think he's really good. But do you think we can handle him down? I mean, I see you strong down the right hand side. I think Palmer and good stuff that you put there. I see you strong on the right hand side. That's what scares me. Now, I'd say our left hand side is stronger than our right. Jamie, would you agree with that? I think Miko's probably stronger than Miko's quite solid, isn't he, down that side?
When it comes to right back, left back, Miko's the best that we've got, mate, by a clear mile this season. It'd be interesting to see your choice of right back, my choice of right back, and then Sean Dyche's choice of right back, because we've had to chop and change so much this season at right back, and no one's really solidified that position as of yet. I know who I want to start. He won't start, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Dyche does.
It's going to be interesting to see what our lineup was now. So that is Simon's lineup. I think it's a good lineup. I think you've done yourself justice. They might be having you as Chelsea manager with that if people are liking it. Now we are going to drop our lineup as well. We'll do it easy. We'll just get rid of a couple of these and then we'll change the name on it. Jamie, I'm going to get yours now and then I'll probably just tweak it on mine. We won't spend too long on lineups, but it just gives you a good idea of who's going to play and what clashes we're going to get. It's going to be a good battle in the centre. I mean, we're going to do our lineups now, but Chelsea have got a strong centre there, Gallagher, Casado, and then the new kid that he's put in as well. I'd say we've got some battlers in the middle. Am I right or wrong to say that, Jamie? What formation are you going for, Jamie? Why I'm just sorting this out for you.
So ours is going to be the 4-4-1-1, as we traditionally go for.
Do you like that formation? You ain't got a choice.
I was going to say...
Is this Dyche ball?
I was going to say it's Dyche ball. We ain't really got much choice in that, mate. He doesn't have flexibility when it comes to a lineup.
No, it's going to be... It's... I don't know. I think we're more attacking than what we could be, but we'll see what you've got here. Especially, I think last game we could be more attacking, but we have got to stay up. We have got that challenge, and I do think that when you've got to stay up, you can't play the flea throwing football that you want to play sometimes. Right. So here we go then. Who's your goalkeeper, Jamie?
The one and the only, Mr. Jordan Pickford.
Not Viagra.
No,
Vinegra. Right, here we go. This is going to be interesting now. What's Jamie got? Because your lineups are always interesting. Let's do this.
Yeah, mine will always split opinion. Right back, Nathan Patterson.
Oh, he's gone something that doesn't happen straight away, so I like it. See, Simon, we're all frustrated because we'd like to see Patterson more, but Dyche doesn't trust him and stuff like that. So,
okay,
but we still think he could do it.
Do you want to know the main reason for this? Because I'm sick of seeing Ben Godfrey play it right back, left back, drive the ball completely forward, get to the opposition's 18-yard box, and then turn around. The ball ends up at Jordan Pickford.
Yeah.
So I understand it's probably going to split opinion. I understand that people probably won't agree. However, Nathan Patterson will run the ball and will try and get a ball in the box. And I have said it for 2 seasons now. He needs a chance to step up, and thus far he's not had one.
I do like to get different lineups on the screen anyway.
I will go with my centre-back partnerships of Dan's doppelganger. We'll go with James Tarkowski.
I knew straight away that it was going to be Tarkowski and Bradbury. That's like written in the stars for us, isn't it, Jamie? I think everyone's
Simple
got
as
this
that,
partnership.
What a player,
What do you think of this then, Simon? These two centre backs, because we love them.
Tarkowski is a very good player, but Branthwaite's exceptional. I was at the game when he scored his first goal against Chelsea, predictably, a couple of seasons ago, I think it was. But he looks like he's got the makings of such a great modern day centre back, because he's got that pace that can get him out of trouble. He looks like he can read the game well. He really looks like, from what I've seen of him, a really, really great prospect.
I do think
the donkey dick of defenders, isn't he, Jamie? Is good.
He's got a very high ceiling. However, I do hope, and I know it's very unlikely that we will keep hold of him past the summer. I do think maybe another year or two with somebody like Tarkowski next to him would do nothing but improve his development. If he went right now to a bigger name side, and he wasn't playing week in, week out, because there are frailties there. We have seen frailties now and again with Jared Branthwaite. They're not every week, and they're not as obvious as a lot of people would see. But I do think if he sticks with Everton and we stay up and he stays for another year or another 2 years, I think it'll do nothing but increase his value, increase his football intelligence, and it'll just make him a better player. But that it is what it is.
I agree.
It's going to be interesting to see how desperate we are. I want to keep him as well. I do want to keep him. Left back, Jamie.
The one and the only, Vitaly Mykolenko.
Amazing how much he's developed into it. He had a bit of a knock, didn't he? And I think he's
again, I've said this on the channel before. You've got to look at when Mykolenko didn't speak a word of the English, struggled to settle in, and then obviously you try and play football week in, week out while your family's still stranded in the Ukraine when there's a war going on in your country. It's not the nicest thing to have to deal with, and then not knowing the native language. You can tell he's worked on himself over the summer. He's picked up his English, and yeah, he's come on leaps and bounds from it, mate. A lot of people were calling for his head last season, saying he wasn't good enough, and all those stories of Duncan Ferguson saying on the train to fans that he wasn't good enough. I'm sorry, he is. He's good enough for me, and I love Mykolenko.
Yeah, he's bulked up his side. I like Mykolenko as well. Right, on to the midfield. Should we go for the centre midfielders first?
Oh, your favourite positions. So I'm going to start with James Garner.
Garner normally plays on the right, doesn't he, the centre?
Yeah, James Garner.
He's been playing FIFA quite a lot, hasn't he, against Still Ryan, I've noticed just recently. Right, on to the next centre midfielder. Who's going at the side of Garner then, Jamie?
I'll please you on this one. We'll go Amadou Onana.
Don't have to go with me. Go with your own instinct. But he has just come back, hasn't he? And there is word that Garner might... Dyche did say that Garner's got a bit of a knock. So if he isn't available, but it's only a bit of a knock. I'm like you, Jamie. I actually think he's still going to be available, but it's going to be interesting on that one. Garner Gay's available as well, and Gomez.
I think when you're playing James Garner, as good of a footballer as James Garner is, he's not got the biggest stature in the world. And then if you're going to play him next to Idrissa Gueye, they're both 5'10". They're not the most physical of presence. So if you're going to play a ball player such as James Garner can be, who's got a little bit more to his game where he can pick a pass, you're going to want somebody like Onana who's a bit of a physical presence, can mix it up and put it about a bit to counteract that. So that's why I've gone with Onana.
Who you go for next, and Jamie?
Left mid, I'm going to go Dwight McNeil. Again, for me, a lot of people say he's gone off the boil the last couple of games. I think for me, he's had to do a lot of the defensive duties over the last couple of games, and you can see it catching up with him. He's not really had too much effectiveness in the final third, but you can't fault the man's effort level that he puts in. We've had this conversation already, and he's one that works tirelessly week in, week out. I don't think anyone can say a game that Everton's had that Dwight McNeil hasn't run himself into the ground. So for me, he's a sure starter at left mid. Right mid, this is the one. do I really change who I am and say Ashley Young, or do I go with the easy option and ask for Jack Harrison? I'm going to go Jack Harrison.
He come on a sub last game, didn't he? Ashley Young's been starting. There's Dyche in love with Ashley Young again, and is he going to start all the time?
I can't pick that man. I can't pick that man. I can't.
When I went to the Burnley game, Ashley Young just gets called Grandad. So when Ashley Young was doing anything wrong, everyone was shouting Grandad. Come on, Grandad!
I can't pick that man. Thank you for the penalty at Newcastle, Ashley Young, but no, I can't do it myself. So the number 10, the one pushing up from midfield again, very obvious. Abdoulaye Doucouré.
He needs to get back to himself, though, don't he, Jamie Doucouré? I know probably
Again,
with passing and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's you've took the words out of my mouth. He's gone off the boil the last couple of games, but also to play in the middle of the afternoon when you've not ate from the sunrise and you're fasting, you can't even take your water or anything on board, mate. I couldn't do it. So all credit to him as a professional for just getting on with it and not even moaning or trying to use it as an excuse. This is the one. This is the one.
We've actually got strikers now. That's the thing. We only had Calvert-Lewin last season. Now we've got Calvert-Lewin, Beto, and Shamiti as option.
I understand that. For me, Calvert-Lewin scored the last 2 games. However, with the centre-back partnership, where I believe it's going to be a very, very physical battle between them, I would much rather see Beto start and have that battle for 60, 70 minutes and then bring Calvert-Lewin on.
Well,
so
he has
I'm
got.
go with
He did say he's got a bit of a knock, didn't he, Jamie? A bit of a tight muscle, Calvert-Lewin. So
he's out then. So we'll go with Beto.
Yeah, he said he's got a bit of a tight muscles. Can't risk it, can you?
He can't make a slice of toast without getting injured, mate. So we'll go with Beto.
So that is Jamie's team. Simon, what do you think of this team then that Jamie's put out? Where's the strengths? Where's the weaknesses, Simon?
The strengths will come. I can guarantee you this from set pieces. I think McNeil's got a fantastic delivery at set pieces. Any free kicks. Chelsea have got a horrific record of defending set pieces, and you've got big players in there. Doucouré always plays well against Chelsea, and I believe in those sort of runs going on. Sometimes players have purple patches against certain teams, so I think you've got a much of an aerial threat at set pieces and the corners, where Chelsea are really very weak this season. I'm not suggesting you're just going to rely on that, but I do like McNeil. I've always liked him. I think he's got a fantastic delivery, and his work rate is fantastic, is great as well. So I think your left side is quite strong. Now, ironically, it's probably our right side that's strongest as well. So it's going to be quite interesting down that side of the pitch, I think.
Yeah, some good battles here going on. Even in the centre, I mean, Jamie's gone for Garner, Onana, and Doucouré, and you've got Gallagher. Casado's a big, powerful centre mid, and then the young lad that you've got, I'm sure he's powerful as well. He's a good centre mid as well. So it's a battle of the 3, isn't it? Man for man, battle of the 3. We both look like we're going to play 3 in the centre, so it's going to be a good battle.
Yeah, and I think the Premier League is such a physical league now. You've got to have that physicality in midfield, that durability, as well as obviously being able to pick a pass out. But that's where so many games are won and lost, I think, these days. And there's some good matchups there, I think.
No, there's going to be some cracking battles. Where would you say we're weak, though? Where would you want to get at us looking at that?
I think the one advantage we have is that Palmer, which is another reason why he didn't stick with City, I think, is Pep has a very rigid, robotic almost system of playing. Palmer likes that freedom, so he will float around the pitch, and he is very, very clever at picking up spaces in between the lines, looking for passes. So I'm putting it all on him really as normal, but that's because he's such an intelligent footballer for a young kid. He doesn't stay in that one position. He will move around the pitch if he's got no joy where he is.
Yeah, he is someone that does take control into and looks for the gaps and will try and cause problems just in front of our defence. My lineup prediction, Jamie. I mean, I'll tell you mine quick. Before people in the comments now, if you can get your lineup predictions in the comments, sometimes you're forgetting to take part. Now, I want you to put your lineup predictions in the comments because I want to read a variety of lineups out from the Everton fans. You always normally
just
do
trying
them.
to see your lineup, Dan. Hold on.
Yeah, well, my lineup here, I only think I'm going to change. And but by the way, Jamie, I do want to say, I want Patterson to play. I really do want Patterson. All they ever done because I've seen more of him on this FIFA game than what I have on the pitch, and I think he's got a big personality. So I really do want Patterson to play, but I think Dyche won't, and that really does frustrate me. So the only thing that I would change, Jamie, is that I'd put Coleman there, but that's not because it's hard though, because I like Coleman because he's our legend and I love him, and I like Patterson because I really want him to prove himself, if you know what I mean. So, but that's the only thing I'd change, Jamie, on that.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Coleman did start. Coleman's a big game player for us at the moment. We've got to pick and choose when we're playing him. He's not going to play week in, week out. And he does turn up for games like this. Coleman, he's got the experience to do so. But yeah, no.
Gomez has been playing. What do you think on us leaving him out, Jamie? Here, Gomez has been playing. He got a full game last game. He's one of our composed on the ball. Do you think we're stupid leaving Gomez out?
It's been nice. Get rid of this. Let us know your lineup here so people can actually see me.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. It's nice been seeing the resurgence of Andre Gomez. Andre Gomez was one of my favourite midfielders before Son decided to absolutely snap his leg in half. And unfortunately, that's where we've seen the downfall for Gomez, where he wasn't playing, he couldn't get back in the team, he went out on loan, has come back, and he started to have a little bit of an impact within the midfield. Some of the passes that he's done in the last game got us out of a lot of trouble. I've got nothing but good things to say about, but at this moment in time, he's one that I could see potentially being moved on in the summer. And I don't see someone like James Garner, who has been in and out of the been in the side predominantly for the season when he's fit, being dropped for him, because I think when we've got those two fit in midfield with Onana and James Garner, that seems to be Dyche's go-to middle of the park duo. So, sorry, Andre.
No, I agree with you, and I think we need energy in the middle of the pitch as well. The Blues, by the way, when I actually do that lineup thing, I actually get no screen. All I get is the lineup screen, so I'm completely blind to see what's going on. I'm doing a lot more than what you're thinking. So, yeah, I didn't mean to put James' beautiful face out. But, yeah, so that is the lineup predictions. We've spoken enough about the players now. Let's do this. Let's have a clash with Simon tonight. Let's do this. Let's get a rumble in the house, people. I mean, the lineups there's not many lineup predictions that have come in the comments. Maybe it's just because they're happy with ours, Jamie. I don't think there's many there, is there, in the comments? I mean,
the Blues
has done one there. Yeah.
Which, again, wouldn't surprise me. He's gone with Pato, which I do like. He's gone with Gay instead of James Garner, and not with James Garner, for Harrison to go with the 5-3-2, and he wants McNeil and Patterson to be the wing backs. Again, it wouldn't surprise me if that was a formation that came in, but again, it's a formation that we've tried against the likes of lower league opposition, where we've gone with the three at the back sort of thing. So I don't see why, unless we're going to put every man behind the ball, why we'd play that against Chelsea myself. But no, again, it's an option.
There's another one there. Just trying to. I don't want to ignore the comments because that's what we come on here.
Garner, Young.
Oh,
get that off. He's picked Young. Get that off. He's picked Young. Get that off.
It could happen, though. It could happen. Yeah. It really could happen. We know it could happen. Since Young's been back, we've actually got good form. We've drew and won, so it really could happen. Torquay, Brantford, Miko, Garner.
Well, we haven't won because we got 2 points fucking took off us, didn't we? So we haven't actually won.
Yeah, good point. But we still did actually win that game. We did win that game. Yeah, that's another lineup there. So he's gone for Coleman, Torquay, Brantford, Miko, Garner Gay, interesting. He could be back in the squad. Garner, Ashley Young, Decore, McNeil. It's weird when you say Ashley Young as a winger. Feels like we're going back in time. And Beto. So, yeah, it's a good lineup. I can't say anything on lineups because we don't know what we're going to get with Daesh. We really don't. What do you think on Ashley Young, Simon?
Oh, divides opinion, doesn't he?
He's smiling when I say it.
He's one of those players when he was playing for Villa down the road and Man United, where he would, quote, win free kicks. Now, I think he's a different sort of player now, isn't he? Because, he's not as offensive, all due respect when I say offensive, I mean, as in going forward as he once was. But Everton have got some young players, haven't they? You've got some young players, and sometimes you need an experienced head on the pitch to help those players in certain situations. But by the same token, I see Everton as a very, very mobile, again, aggressive team, and I just don't see where he fits in that respect.
No, the problem is Daesh just loves experience when you're in a relegation battle. He just feels like because they've been in the Premier a long time, they know the trade and they've got experience in the job, which frustrates us sometimes because last game I actually thought Young ended me wrong, and then last game I just thought every time we attacked the opposition, Burnley looked so comfortable with Young running at them. I just thought, oh God, like if that's our hope to score, Ashley Young taking them on, then I don't know. I just like young, talented players, but I don't know. Daesh might pick him, so I can't really say too much. I don't want to go against Daesh. Right. Here we go then, people. We've got your lineups on the screen. Go on, Simon. I'm only going to play a bit.
I just said I think the means has to justify the ends for you guys at the moment. And just to expand on something you're talking about with Daesh, the pressure that the manager's under, potentially points deductions, etc. But also there's a new stadium being built. I think, you've got to take those things into consideration when you're managing a football club. It's not just as one-dimensional as like we're doing tonight. That's my view on the guy. I think he's probably under a huge amount of pressure, similar to all managers, but it's a different level of expectation, a different sort of pressure that Pochettino's under, that Daesh is under. But that's a big burden at the moment for the guy to carry. And so he's going to go with what is needed to keep you guys in the Premier League.
Yeah, and I think some Everton fans, we forget that sometimes. We forget because we ain't got everything on our shoulders, have we? That he's got on his shoulders. So just as fans sometimes,
yeah,
because we want to take the risk, but then if it made us lose, we wouldn't want to take that risk. Do you know what I mean? That's the problem. Because you do think Ivy went. Sometimes you think that as a fan, you're like, oh, just go for it. But then sometimes when we do go for it, we concede, and you can see why he's not just going for it. So I don't know. It's mixed emotions. It really is as an Everton fan.
Yeah.
Here we go then, people. I've got the music to build. Predictions is coming. Get your score predictions in the comments, people, right now, whilst I put this music on. And if you haven't hit that like and subscribe, got the Tim Cahill top on tonight for this. So get some likes and subscribes on this channel right now, please. We'd appreciate it. Support the channel. Drop some music. Here we go. Big game this. Come on, let's get the spirit side, JD. Let's do this. Got to do some. It's really. Do you know what? It's really hard to dance when you're sitting down. I dance with my legs a lot. You know what I mean? So I can't get them. It's big fish, little fish, cardboard box. That's about it. That's all I've got, people. Right, I'm a nutter. You know it. Here we go. Score predictions, everybody. I like to crop these if someone looks stupid. So be careful, Simon. Often I look stupid, but I like to crop them because I could have cropped last game actually, and I didn't because I didn't get time to do it. But the Burnley fan that I had on last game, he goes, oh, we've got a cracking goalkeeper now. He goes, who's your favourite player? He goes, the goalkeeper is amazing. He's big, he's strong. And he goes, the goalkeeper is so good. And I go to him, you really like the goalkeeper, don't you? And he goes, yeah, he's the best player by far. He's the reason we've got back on track, the Burnley. He's a good lad, the Burnley fan, by the way. But it's just what happens. And he goes, he raved about his keeper so much. And then we played his goalkeeper, kicked it to Calvert-Lewin, and it went in off him. And I thought, you've cursed your goalkeeper there. You should never have said that. And then I watched last game as well. The goalkeeper did it again, didn't he?
Yeah.
I took Croppett. I need to be and put him at the start saying how good the goalkeeper is and watching the downfall as a video. I just haven't had time. So be careful, son. Right. What I'm going to do, Jamie, I'm going to ask you first your score prediction and goal scorer as we go, Simon. We are that specific. Get in the comments. We want your score prediction and goal scorers. This is the best part of the show. I'll do it for you. Can you get it right on the show, Jamie?
I'm going to go 1-0 to Everton.
Yes, you've done us to win. That's a good start.
I think it's going to be... I don't think it's going to be as a free-flowing game. I think Dyche is going to put men behind the ball and we're going to try and stop movements between the lines, which is going to be one of those games where it's going to be Chelsea's attack versus Everton's defence. Not particularly going to be enjoyable for 90 minutes from our point of view. However, I'm going to go 1-0 and I'm going to go with a goal from a free kick or corner. And I'm going to go with the goal scorer as James Tarkowski.
I knew you were going to say Tarkowski when you said free kick or corner. I knew it. Oh, it takes me back to Arsenal when Dyche first took over, 1-0 Tarkowski header. So that is Jamie's score prediction, 1-0. I thought he was going to say draw then, but no, he's gone 1-0. I like it. Right, so let's get the head book to Simon down here. Come on, let's have this. Come on, what's he got for us? Don't take it easy, because don't take it easy on us.
I've got to go 3-2 to Chelsea because we can see 2 goals every game at the moment. If you want me to give you the Everton scorers, I'll go Branthwaite and Decore. But I just think that somehow we'll just have enough to score 3. Do you want me to, I won't even... Cole Palmer will probably get 2 assists and a goal because that apart, that's it. I just think we'll edge it 3-2. And I'm being mildly optimistic by saying that. But I do think set pieces will play a big part from your team's point of view tomorrow night.
3-2. So you've got Palmer. Who else have you got? If there's 2 goal scorers, I'm hoping you curse it now on the don't. Who are you going for?
Yeah, I'll go Palmer, Jackson, and you know what? I'll put a little snifty in for Gusto.
Gusto, right. So Jamie's got to get behind the ball, 1-0 set piece. You've got a 3-2 thriller, which is heart attack. I mean, 3-2. He's got
check out the last 5 games, mate.
I don't know how we're scoring 2 because we can't. I don't know how we're scoring 2, but he must be leaking goals bad if we can score 2.
Well, Sheffield United managed last week.
True that.
Yeah, make a good point. So if they can do it, maybe we can as well. So that is your score prediction. 3-2 win. Simon's gone with his own team, Chelsea. 3-2 win. I'm doing it on the spot. I'm trying to think now. I didn't even think about it. Let me just have a think about this. I've got a picture in my head. I'm not going to be stupid tonight. I have gone like 5-1s on the show when we've lost. Everton wins, but I'm not going to be stupid tonight, right? I am a big, passionate, big heart. I want everything. I really do rate some of your players, so I'd be stupid to say we're going to batter you. I've got to appreciate who we're against here. And I know everyone says, "Oh, Chelsea are crap," and everyone's quite excited about playing you this season because you've probably been the worst you've been for a long time, but. I hate that. I hate that, Simon. I know last season as well, but I hate that. I hate it when people say, "Oh, Chelsea." People fancy us against. A lot of Everton fans fancy us against Chelsea because we've had good games against you just recently, and you're not the Chelsea. I think you're not the Chelsea.
No.
So, but I hate that because I'm thinking, you know what? They think it's quite easy to get a draw against Chelsea, but I know how hard it's going to be because I know how good your players are. So I'm going to go for 2-1 Everton. It's not going to be distant. 2-1 Everton win. And I think that 2-1's hard, isn't it? When you think of which way it's going to go. We've got to score the first goal if we're going to win 2-1. I think 2-1, right? And it's going to be, we score the first goal. Beto's going to score. He needs to. Everton fans are questioning him because he's looking sluggish. But Beto's going to score the first. Then Chelsea's going to really attack us. We're going to score again because your attack shouldn't be beating you 1-0. And then Harrison's going to score, who I don't normally put in the lineup, but me and Jamie have. I think he's been shit, but I think that's how you get better, is by scoring. So Harrison scores and catches you out on the counter. He needs to step it up. And then you finally get one and you pen us in to get 2-2 and we just managed to get 2-1. Now I've gone specific, but that's how it needs to go in my head. That is my score prediction, 2-1. But I do, like I say, I respect Chelsea's team. I think they're really good, Simon. So it's going to be a cracking game, mate. I think it is. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think anyone's going to win it by a fine margin. It's going to be close. I think we've all.
Agreed.
We have all gone close on scores. Right, people, I'm going to get your score predictions on. Hopefully there's a few in the comments, and then we will end the show. There is loads in the comments. That's good. We have good regulars on the show. Makes it all worth it going live. Jamie loves reading them out as well, don't you, Jamie?
Don't mind it. Don't mind it.
Jamie, do you know Emma's lineup just before we do the score prediction? Do you know that lineup? It's a lineup by emojis. See, Emma on the show, she's one of our regulars. We set her a challenge to pick the lineup by emojis to choose what player it is for. That's hard, isn't it?
It's good.
Oh my days!
I just still don't get the Jordan Pickford is that Peaches? I don't know whether she's on about his arse.
Peach has got peachy bum. She says, "Yeah, he's got peachy
bum." She's always on about his arse. Oh, dirty Emma, honestly.
They like arses, don't they? I suppose sometimes.
He's a goalkeeper. He's not. You know what I mean? No, you got.
There is another lineup there before we. I mean, these are coming late, but I can't miss them because I just love the comments. So Pickford, Miko, Brantwaite, Tarky, Coleman, Dan Juma. He played the under 21s. He could be available. Garner, Gay, Patterson, right wing, Decore, and Beto. Thanks for that lineup. It's a good one. If Dan Juma's available, I'd be having him in over Harrison. I tell you that's for sure.
He's not going to start, mate.
He hasn't played well for us.
He's been out for 4.5 months, mate. He's not going to start.
No, he isn't going to start, is he? But I just wish I honestly thought he'd be a lot better. So here we go. Lineup, score predictions. Let's have a look. Thomas Thompson. That's no. Emma's.
Yeah, she's gone for 2-2 again.
2-2.
Confident that we're scoring 2. I'm not so confident, but I could see it being a draw at any stage or numbers. To be fair. Then we've got Thomas Thompson.
Goes on to say we've seen my feet dance moves. Yeah.
Yeah, you're dancing. Yeah, Thomas Thompson's next. He's gone 1-0 Everton. Hasn't put a goal scorer though. Neither's Emma. So a bit disappointed in that. Boo.
What goal scorers? We're sad.
Next one we've got Eugene. He's gone 4-1 Everton.
He's our proper Evertonian. Look at that. What would you say if that happened, Simon?
Nothing would surprise me with this team. Nothing would surprise. Nothing would surprise me.
If we could get every result go for us like it has, because the games are before we play, so it's been nice watching results before we play. All the results have gone our way. The Shite have lost against Crystal Palace. If we won 4-1, Eugene, I will do something dodgy on this stream, I tell you.
If ever there was a weekend for us to show up, it's this weekend with Liverpool losing results going our way.
Beto hat trick in Detroit. Yeah. Next one, the Blues is like Simon. We've got the Blues, and he's like level-headed. He never. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's gone 1-1. Decore, Palmer again. Wouldn't surprise me if that ends up being the score either. It totally depends on, again, we're going back to lineups, but it depends on what Chelsea team, and I said this right at the start, it depends what Chelsea team turns up, and it depends what team Dice decides to set up as well, I think. So
I do think the scoring sequence is important as well. I think if Chelsea do go 2-up, for example, as I've seen in recent weeks, the game's not out of reach. If Everton go 2-up, then that's a big ask with this Chelsea side right now. So I think the scoring sequence is quite important as well, guys.
Agreed.
On to the next one. Hazrat, he's gone for 2-1. McNeil, DCL, winner. Even he hasn't gone big score. He normally goes big, doesn't he, Jamie?
In between Chelsea equaliser from Palmer. So fair enough. So 1-1 and then 2-1 for DCL winner. Yeah, again, it could again. It's a toss of a coin at the moment. Like I said, I feel it's a as Sam just said, the goal scoring sequence is going to tell a lot from the game, and it's what team decides to turn up, because both teams have been at fault in plenty of games this season where we've not showed up. Not just Chelsea, Everton have been at fault for it. We've had I still go back to the Sheffield United game away where we'd not scored in the Premier League, and it was just a case of we scored, they scored 2, then Danjuma scored, and it was just the game was there for the sake. We just didn't show up at any point.
It's going to be Sims. Was it Sims that scored against Chelsea last time? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's right.
We've had some close games.
When he turned Koulibaly inside out.
Yeah.
It was at the time.
I remember Pickford having an absolute wieldy against you as well, a triple save.
Does.
It was like
he always does.
Yeah.
Honestly, you can guarantee that he's just always has. I was talking about some players play well against certain clubs. I've never seen Pickford have a bad game against us. Never.
No, we love him. He just gets a lot of hate as a character, but we love him. We do love Pickford, don't we, Jamie? Are you a hater on Pickford? It's cool to say you are. Simon, are you a hater on Pickford?
No, I'm not. No, I don't really hate on any players, to be honest. Really, I don't. I don't rate some players, but he's
I hate every one of the Liverpool players, Simon.
I don't hate. Yeah, you're young. You're younger than me.
I don't hate the Liverpool players. I don't hate them.
You don't hate them?
Despise them.
Oh,
I fucking despise them.
Robinson. Oh my days, Robinson. Can't stand the man. Van Dijk thinks he's. Oh, I just love the downfall that's going to happen on those players. I really do.
I think that the social media comparisons sometimes when I see them from a personal point of view, and people are saying Van Dijk's the best Premier League centre half, and I look at the likes of John Terry and Vidic.
Literally,
it does make my blood boil.
Do you know what? Take Vidic out of the equation. You literally just took the thought that was in my head. The narrative and perspective that Liverpool fans that Virgil van Dijk is the best centre-back to ever play in the Premier League. The lad couldn't tie up John Terry boots. And you can judge John Terry on what he's done off the pitch or his personal life. That's got nothing to do with football. When it comes to football, John Terry is the best centre-back I've seen play in the Premier League. I don't care what anyone says. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm very underrated. Playing left centre back with the right foot, hitting 50-yard passes with his left foot as well. But no, I do agree. And I just can't compare players anyway in different eras. It's a different era anyway, isn't it? Somebody said something about Van Dijk about, thank God he never had Shearer, Drogba, Henry, etc., etc.
Rooney. He would not even be named. He would not be named in the same conversation if he went up against those players that John Terry had to deal with week in, week out. And people could say what they want. Liverpool fans could come up with the other. It's the truth.
I think so.
You had some shit. Like Drogba. But another one that's a shitbag player is Costa. You had some like shitbag players against us. Costa. I remember, you just put a memory in my head. Like, I remember Costa. I was working and my boss wouldn't let me go, and it was a Sunday game, and he was deliberately not letting me go. And I ran to the pub to catch the game, and Costa scored in like 2 minutes against Everton. The game was already finished, and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Oh,
but every team needs like those players, those players. I mean, they're better players than people think, but they just remember them for their attitude. But he was an incredibly, very clever footballer. We missed Rudiger. When the sanctions hit after our invasion, he was a shithouse player. You know what I mean? He would wind people up, and we haven't got any of that. We're too nice. You need those players with a bit of need, don't you? Sorry,
James.
I think Colwell, your centre back, he's quite good.
Injured.
If you got
injured, yeah, but is he nasty? You know what I mean? I don't say nasty, but you know what I mean. Some players need to sort of operate on the edge, don't they?
James Tarkowski is ours.
Yeah.
Trust me, James, as a lot of opposition fans probably wouldn't say that. James, it's with Costa. As much as I understand what you're saying, he was a shitbag. Costa was the player that, if Chelsea were having a bad game, he would put a tackle in, he'd hit somebody to the floor, he'd get somebody in the face, because that gets the rest of the team up.
Correct.
And that's what Tarkowski will do.
Yes.
Tarkowski will go through somebody in the first 5 minutes, which will raise the tempo.
Yeah.
Costa, I think Costa was very underrated for the job that he did at Chelsea. He may have been a shitbag, but he was that player that had to play on the edge, and that's what brought the best out of him. And he scored goals for fun.
And I think that's such a good point. And this current Chelsea side have none of that for me.
No,
really.
No.
I was just going to say, that's what I find crazy about Chelsea. I think you signed a lot of good players, but I think you're a centre-back and a striker away from being a really good team again. I don't know if you agree with me. I think if you've got a good centre-back.
Well, we have, but they were injured. Wesley Fofana. Colwill.
Yeah, I suppose Fofana, but for me, if you put Branthwaite in your set, if you had Branthwaite with the centre backs you've got, I don't want Branthwaite to go. By the way, I'm just saying, I'm giving an example that would sort you out. I think if you had Branthwaite as your centre back, I think Branthwaite sorts everyone's centre back problems out. He's incredible. He has ours. Without him, we'd be shit. Yeah,
but we've got 5 centre backs, first team centre backs, and Fofana's not kicked the ball all season. Colwell's injured, and striker we got Nkunku.
Yeah, but I don't think he's your man. I'll give you a striker now that I think could change your fortune.
No one's seen him conquer. You can't say that. He's been out injured this season. You can't say that.
No, I know you ain't seen him, but I've watched some bits and bobs. I think if you had Tony, and I know he's a bit of a shitbag and he's a bit of got a gambling reputation and stuff like that, but I think if you had someone like Tony, who's a shitbag striker, you'd be back to Chelsea. I could be wrong, but that's just what I think. I think if you had a striker that does,
potentially, but then you've got You've got the squad is so big, and don't forget we've got Lukaku to come back. He's our player. Ziyech to come back. He's still our player, and Kepa still to come back. He's our player.
Scary.
It's insane. So people talk about FFP, and we don't want to go into that route, but like the season with the last sort of financial accounts, Chelsea sold £230 million to the players. You've got players there that are going to be sold off as well. So this is what I don't understand. They're not building a team. You know what you're talking about, putting players in certain positions, but you can't scrap it all now because you spent the money.
Yeah,
that's
why I feel a bit.
You've got like long contracts as well. Long contracts and big wages that can get you in trouble. I mean, we've got 5-year contracts on players. And we're scared because the
wages aren't big though, Dan. The wages are comparatively small, you know. Seriously,
that's all right.
Yeah, that's why they're giving them long contracts. So they've got around it by obviously amortizing the value of the player over 8 years instead of over 4 years, for example. But giving long contracts is dangerous because the players still have the hunger. Do they lose value? You know, it's uncharted territory and it's a massive gamble.
Yeah, we could do another episode on the channel if we're going to go on to what's gone wrong with Chelsea and what Chelsea need and stuff like that, because you've got about 100 players. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, I can't believe there's so much to talk about on Chelsea with what's gone on. I mean, I watched Pulisic for AC Milan. I still think there's a player there. Ziyech, I didn't think was that bad.
No,
I thought it was all right, Ziyech. So
look at Loftus-Cheek. He's
Loftus-Cheek smashing it as well.
Yeah.
And then you sold a striker to Roma that I'd love to have for Everton. What's his name? Your striker to Roma.
Who? When? Last season?
The Blues. No, the striker you sold to Roma the season before. That's their best striker.
Pass. Sorry.
Blues, that's gone out of my head now. Who's the striker? I forgot who he is.
At Roma. Oh, Tammy Abraham.
Roma.
Tammy.
Yeah, Abraham. That's the one. I knew the Blues would help me. I knew the Blues. Yes, I think he's a good striker. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you saw Lampard as a manager, and he got a lot of stick, and he got a lot of stick for us. But we lost Hazard, had a transfer ban, and we finished top 4. And he bloodied Abraham, Mount, Reece James, Gilmore. The names escape me. Tamori is another one. Have I missed anyone out? I don't know. Probably have. And Loftus-Cheek. There was like 5 or 6 graduates in that side. And that's part of the money-making scheme now, of course. You've got a great academy and they're just being shunted on.
Jorginho as well, you let go. Was you happy with that one, Jorginho?
Yeah, that was fine. I think he divided opinion, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Kay as well went into it. It's been interesting.
Okay, he went a long time ago. Yeah. You can't.
Player, so
you don't win them all, do you? You can't. But
No.
there's just
Look at Everton Football Club. No, you don't.
But Jamie, we're winning. You've gone 1-0. I've gone 2-1. Simon's gone 3-2. This is going to be a thriller. And to be fair, it always does. I come on this show and I can't sleep now because we're playing tomorrow. I've got excited too early. I'm ready for this game. It's massive. This is a big game. Big game for Chelsea because they just want to improve. Like, I think that's your aim, isn't it, Simon?
Yeah, I was being a little flippant by saying it's a dead rubber. Of course it isn't. And also we've got a massive Wembley game on Saturday against Man City in the FA Cup semi-final. So, you don't want to go off the back of a defeat into a game like that. So it is a big game for Chelsea. There's no doubt about it, particularly on the back of like losing the league twice against Sheffield United.
The cup game is big for you. I didn't even think about the cup. That's a massive. Just winning a trophy just calms things down, doesn't it? I mean, when it's going bad, I think the trophy would calm things down for you. Yeah. So that's a big one for you as well. And this game's going to be a big one. Right, people. I have dropped all your comments on the score, but we could keep this going. Sometimes we say we're going to go live for an hour. It's an hour and 31. We get good feedback in the comments. Thanks for everyone for getting involved throughout the show. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe, do so. We seem to be sitting on I know we've only been going for about 1 year, but we seem to be sitting on about 650 something. We want to hit 1,000 by the end of this season. Yeah, 657. We want to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Now, if we hit 1,000, it just makes our channel look good. So more people click on it and it gets watched more. So our effort actually gets watched and we get more hours on it and stuff like that. So if you can hit that like and subscribe, do so. Simon, I'll put his Twitter in the link. So if you want to look him up, add him on Twitter. He's a good guy, to be fair. We've enjoyed having you on, Simon.
Yeah, no, it's been great, guys. Really has. It's been really pleasurable.
Yeah, so give him a look up. We do get really, I don't know how we do it. We're going to get an idiot at some point, but we do land on some really good opposition guest fans. And thanks for coming on. You give us a good insight at Chelsea, to be fair. It's always better when a Chelsea, when an opposition fan on, isn't it, James?
Yeah, definitely.
We have a Jamie on tonight as well, so we've loved it here.
I'll also make a more of an active approach to
I'm going to.
I'll make a more active approach to be more available to the stream. This is the first time I've been on since I think end of November, so I'll make it more of an active option for me to come on the channel as well, boys and girls on the channel. I know you're all missing me.
They are, of course they are. And shout out to, I don't know if he'll catch the end of this. He normally gives the show a listen. He's finally come out of hospital. Everything Everton's had a bit shit, and he's gone through a bit of a rough time. But shout out to him. I messaged him. We do keep in touch with everyone on the channel. It's like a family on this. But Everything Everton's been through a bit of crap, and I tracked him down to see how he was, and he's out now. So get a recovery on you, son, and get back in the comments, Everything Everton. But shout out to you as well. We're glad you're out and we're glad you're a bit better, everyone. Here we go. Drop the banner, everyone. Game tomorrow. Massive game. Can Everton draw, win, and win? I take a draw, worst case scenario, but can we actually start picking up and getting away from this relegation battle? Let's do this. Up the TOFFEE. Simon won't be wanting that, but can we do it? Up the TOFFEE, everyone. Have a boss one.
Never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run.
Stream, we'll be celebrating. I really do.